I exposed my sister-in-law's affair. My husband left me, but karma made him lose everything. I had always believed in karma, but never had I witnessed it unfold so clearly as it did in my own life. Looking back, the journey was long, painful, and exhausting, but it led me to a place of peace I never thought possible. At 35, I had been married to my now ex-husband Daniel for nearly 10 years. Our relationship started strong, filled with love and partnership, but over the years, cracks had formed. The issues were always there, simmering beneath the surface, but I ignored them for the sake of keeping peace. Daniel came from a tightly knit family, one that operated more like an exclusive club than a supportive unit. He had an older sister, Olivia, who was married to Mark, a highly successful businessman. Olivia was a stay-at-home mother, and their 2 children were adored by Daniel. I liked them too, and over time I became the fun aunt in their lives. 5 years ago, my life took a drastic turn. I had been working as a financial analyst for a demanding firm, one that drained me physically and mentally. The toxic environment, the never-ending deadlines, and the lack of work-life balance had driven me to the edge. After months of contemplation, I decided to take a break to focus on my mental health. Daniel supported my decision wholeheartedly, assuring me that we could manage. We had always kept separate personal finances while contributing proportionally to a joint account for shared expenses. I had calculated everything before making the leap, confident in my ability to sustain myself for a while, but 3 months into my break, Daniel changed. Small things like ordering takeout or buying groceries triggered angry outbursts. If I suggested dining out, he would either dismiss me or snap in irritation. Even when I used my own savings, he acted resentful. This was not the man I had married. One night I confronted him, demanding an explanation for his erratic behavior. What he admitted left me frozen in disbelief. He had gambled away nearly all our savings. I trusted him with our finances, never imagining that he would betray that trust so completely. Our accounts were nearly empty, and our house was on the verge of repossession. For days I wrestled with emotions, anger, betrayal, heartbreak. But there was no time to dwell on feelings when our entire future was at stake. I threw myself into job applications and, by sheer luck, landed a high-paying role within days. Despite my fury toward Daniel, I focused on rebuilding. During this time, I repeatedly urged Daniel to ask Mark for financial assistance. Mark was wealthy, and though it was humiliating to ask for help, I saw no alternative. Daniel, however, refused. I couldn't understand his stubbornness. Was it pride, shame, or something else? Eventually, I made the call myself. Mark helped us immediately, and I was deeply grateful. But Daniel? He was livid. Instead of being thankful, he accused me of emasculating him in front of his brother-in-law. His bruised ego mattered more to him than the fact that I was trying to save our home. That argument marked a turning point in our marriage. I realized that I was fighting alone while he wallowed in self-pity. Over the next 1.5 years, I worked tirelessly to restore our financial stability. We repaid every cent to Mark, but the distance between Daniel and me had grown irreversible. I wanted to believe that time would heal the damage, but deep down, I knew the marriage was fractured beyond repair. Around this time, I began noticing a strain between Olivia and Mark. During family gatherings, they seemed distant. Mark appeared distracted, while Olivia seemed to be avoiding him altogether. Concerned, I confided in Daniel, but he brushed off my worries. Then, one afternoon, I drove to Olivia's house to drop off some treats for the kids. She was acting strange, rushed, nervous, eager to get rid of me. My instincts told me something was off. As I sat in my car outside her house, a man emerged. His face was hidden beneath a cap, his posture tense, as if he was avoiding being seen. And Olivia? The way she saw him off. The body language, it was undeniable. She was having an affair. I didn't know what to do. Should I confront her? Stay silent? After hours of turmoil, I decided to tell Daniel. Surely he would be as appalled as I was, but his reaction stunned me. He urged me to keep quiet. He wasn't shocked, angry, or even disappointed. His only concern was ensuring no one else found out. I refused to stay silent. Mark had helped us when we were at rock bottom. I couldn't let him suffer in ignorance while Olivia betrayed him. Daniel and I fought like never before. He accused me of meddling in private matters, of trying to destroy his family. That night, something clicked. I no longer recognized the man I had married. And worse, I had an unsettling suspicion. If Daniel could defend infidelity so fiercely, was it because he too had been unfaithful? I went to Mark and told him everything. He didn't react immediately, but I saw the pain in his eyes. Weeks passed in silence. Then one day, the news broke. Mark had filed for divorce. Olivia was devastated. Soon after, Olivia stormed into my house, screaming insults, blaming me for ruining her life. But I didn't care. She had destroyed her own marriage, and I had simply revealed the truth. By then, my relationship with Daniel had become unbearable. Olivia and Daniel turned the entire family against me, spreading lies, painting me as the villain. I had sacrificed everything to rebuild our life, and in return, I was treated as an outcast. One evening, I gathered everyone and laid out the truth. I exposed Olivia's affair, Daniel's gambling, and their collective hypocrisy. To my surprise, even Daniel's parents sided with their children. That was the final straw. I announced my decision to divorce Daniel. The look on his face, pure disbelief, was strangely satisfying. He tried to backtrack, to convince me to stay, but I was done. The divorce was finalized quickly. I sold my house, moved to another city, and started fresh. 3 years passed. Then, out of the blue, Daniel called me. He was hysterical, sobbing, claiming he had made the biggest mistake of his life. I barely paid attention until he dropped the bombshell. His new wife, a 21-year-old, had run off with Olivia. They had emptied his bank account and disappeared. I was tempted to laugh. Karma had arrived, and it was relentless. Daniel begged me to help track them down. I refused. Then his mother called me, pleading for legal assistance. Apparently, Daniel's wife's parents were pressing charges against him for allegedly grooming her. The thought made me physically ill. Had he been involved with her when she was still a minor? My instinct screamed yes. I told his mother exactly what I thought of her son. She cursed me before hanging up. Later, I found out that Daniel had paid off the family to avoid legal action, draining the last of his savings. He had nothing left. No money, no reputation, and no support. He, Olivia, and their parents were now crammed into a one-bedroom apartment, barely scraping by. I blocked them all and moved on with my life. Reflecting on everything, I feel nothing but relief. Karma had done its job. I had escaped a toxic cycle, and while Daniel's downfall brought no joy, it reinforced one truth: actions have consequences. And to anyone watching, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until next time.